Hello everyone, Recapped Mystery here. Welcome back. Today, I'm going to explain a fantasy film called Every Day. Watch out and take care. Is a strange traveling spirit who occupies the bodies of various teenagers every day for a single day. The film begins with a waking up in the body of a high school guy named Justin Smith. He takes a picture of himself, as he does with everyone else, and sets a timer. 11 p.m. and 11:50 p.m. Justin is unaware that Rhiannon is his girlfriend. Rhiannon is madly in love with Justin, but he never responds to her texts or treats her well. Navigates his life as Justin at school that day and encounters Rhiannon, who apologizes to him for texting excessively. Justin assures her that everything is fine and that he should have texted her back, which is completely unlike his usual demeanor. Rhiannon persuades Justin to skip school with her in order to spend more time with him. The two flee the school and stealth. For both of them, the entire day was amazing. They sing songs in his automobile, walk together in an aquarium, and gleefully run around the beach, and have a great time. Rhiannon tells him about her father's manic episode a few years ago and how it ruined her connection with him as they walk around the park. She appreciates Justin's interest in Noon's her family life. At the conclusion of the day, when they are preparing to part ways, as Justin informs Rhiannon, tomorrow will not be the same as today. Rhiannon, on the other hand, concludes the day on a bright note, stating that tomorrow is tomorrow. They kiss and then part ways. Appears to have developed feelings for Rhiannon. It is now the next day, and has awoken as Amy. She takes a selfie and sets an alarm, as she always does. Amy enrolls as a new student at her high school in order to be closer to Rhiannon. Meanwhile, Rhiannon is upset because Justin has been rude to her yet again. Amy approaches Rhiannon, stating that she is a transfer student who would want Rhiannon to show her around. Justin walks into the chemical lab and complains about missing practice the day before. He doesn't seem to recall anything. Rhiannon is hurt because of what occurred yesterday. Justin even blames her for his absence from practice. Amy becomes enraged and responds to Justin on Rhiannon's behalf, alleging he is unappreciative of the only good thing in his life. Rhiannon asks her to stop, and Justin glances at her strangely before leaving. Following the encounter, an upset Rhiannon asks Amy to accompany her friend Alexander and departs. Fast forward to the next day. Awakens as Nathan, a little boy, and goes about his daily activities. He goes to his computer and looks up a location on a map. Meanwhile, Justin and Rhiannon are at a party, where he abandons her with the keys and joins his friend group. Rhiannon is lonely and uncomfortable. Justin utterly ignores Rhiannon throughout the night. She is standing alone when she notices Nathan dancing erratically. She is compelled to join him. They're dancing when Justin approaches, standing protectively at Rhiannon's side. Nathan presents himself as Justin's friend, Steve's cousin, and declares himself to be gay. He even indicates that he is drawn to Justin, so he returns to his pals. Nathan then invites Rhiannon to accompany him outside. They chuckle as they discuss Rhiannon's type of man. They converse for a long time, but Nathan has to go before 12 o'clock. Meanwhile, Justin believes Steve has no cousin. They dash downstairs, chasing Nathan away. Wakes up the next day as a blind boy, unable to find his phone. As a result, he spends the entire day in his room. Meanwhile, Nathan has turned into an internet troll, claiming to be possessed by the devil. The next day, Rhiannon receives a message from a random number inviting her to meet the person. Alone in a public location, she visits the library and is approached by a girl named Megan. Megan initially tells Rhiannon that Nathan sent her, but then she begins to explain herself. As a moving spirit, I live my life. She reveals that she wakes up every day as a different person, including the day she went out with him. She was Justin one day, Amy the next, and Nathan the day before that. Rhiannon is skeptical and attempts to flee, but Megan begins to recite. On their date, she said something to Justin. Rhiannon then believes Justin and everyone else are playing a sick joke on her, but Megan insists she is real. Freaked out, Rhiannon leaves the place. The next day, she receives another text message from a number and goes to meet in a diner. This time it is an Asian boy waiting for her. She quizzes him about all the things she has done with the people's bodies he has been in. and he answers all of them perfectly. He then introduces himself as a name he made up. He tells her that he wakes up every day in a different body that is always close to her final body, and he's around the same age as him. He has no idea who his parents are or where he was born. He's been changing bodies since he was a child. He tries to leave as little of a trace as possible after the day is done. Then shows her his Instagram account, where he publishes photos of himself as everyone he has awoken as. Rhiannon is still skeptical, but she is starting to believe him. She conducts her own investigation and goes to see Nathan at a church. He swears he was possessed by the devil that day and only remembers parts and pieces of it, of what occurred. When he awoke the next morning, his phone was linked to the devil Instagram account. However, he claims that his credentials were changed before he could download any images. Rhiannon is now convinced that A was not lying. The next day, she notices a girl staring at her in the corridors and assumes it is A. They converse, and she inquires about Nathan. A was unable to arrive at Nathan's residence on time and was forced to depart. His body was moving quickly. As a result, he had forgotten to log out of Instagram on Nathan's phone. Rhiannon then suspects A of invading her privacy by kissing her as Justin. He apologizes and explains that he does not do this with everyone, but it felt different with her. When he was with Rhiannon that day, he felt something he had never felt before. For the same reason, he told her about his secret. Later that day, Rhiannon is at Justin's, when she asks him what he remembers about that day, but he too claims that everything is foggy. She then asks him questions about their relationship, but Justin is ignorant of the whole situation. The following day, is a black man named George. He summons Rhiannon to meet him in a library, where he fools her by acting like he doesn't. The two chat about A's life again, and then, the two kiss. When George's overprotective mother walks over and brands Rhiannon a whore, Rhiannon drives away, enjoying the whole time. The following day, is beyond surprised to wake up in Rhiannon's body. She jumps out of bed, telling herself not to worry about it. Takes care not to glance at Rhiannon's body while showering. Justin approaches Rhiannon at school and begins to kiss her. When Iz invites Rhiannon over, he is anxious. She lashes out at him, saying he doesn't understand or respect her. Hopes she doesn't get angry at him for doing that tomorrow. Rhiannon travels to her father's studio after school, which the real Rhiannon would never do. She bonds with her father, and he even visits her, makes a portrait of her, records everything that transpired today on a note for Rhiannon to read later that night, tomorrow, and then goes to bed. The next day, Rhiannon sees the note and decides to break up with Justin on her own. She has now recognized that he is not good one. Justin is surprised and wishes her luck before storming out. She then phones A, and tells him about the breakup. She claims that she has never felt more clear about a decision in her life. The scene transitions to Rhiannon and A as a different guy driving to her uncle's cabin in the woods. They spend the entire day talking and laughing together. The two decide to meet again tomorrow, but A has to transport the guy back to his apartment for the night, so he leaves with the vehicle they came in. The next day, Rhiannon waits all day for him, but he never appears. Finally, she contacts her mother to come pick her up in the cabin. Her mother is furious at her for forcing her to drive 3 hours on a workday. The next day, we witness A waking up as Michael, a guy who is set to fly to Holland. If he leaves, he will be assigned to someone from Holland and will never return. So he flees the house and summons Rhiannon to come and save him. To avoid Michael's mother, Rhiannon drives to him in her sister's car, taking out the driver's side mirror. She is furious at A for leaving her at the wee cabin the day before. A explains that he awoke as a female, so I had a lung transplant yesterday. He was unable to attend. He wasn't even allowed to be near cell phones, so he couldn't call. Later, A assumes the body of a young girl named Kelsey, who was on the verge of committing suicide. Rhiannon meets him at her residence, and the two notice that she has already meticulously planned her suicide. Kelsey's father would only be home at 5 a.m., therefore if A exits her body before then, she will most likely commit suicide as a result of this. Rhiannon wants A to inhabit Kelsey's body until her father returns home and she can seek help. Isn't sure if he can accomplish it, but tries anyway. It's 11:59 p.m., and A is still inside Kelsey's body. Kelsey's father returns home later, and A informs him that she requires assistance. A and Rhiannon are both relieved that they were able to save someone's life. The next day, A awakens in the body of Rhiannon's classmate Alexander. Throughout the day, A brags about what a great guy Alexander is. Rhiannon wishes for A to remain in Alexander's body for a period of time, like he did in Kelsey's, so they can spend a long time together. A hesitantly agrees and goes by the name Alexander for the next few days. Alexander's privacy is completely invaded, and he refuses all of his mother's calls to enjoy. He spent time with Rhiannon. Alexander's birthday was that day, and his family had planned a surprise for him. He was sorry for ignoring them all day. They were also disappointed with him, but apologizes to Alexander's mother and decides to depart his body tomorrow after alerting Rhiannon. The next day, A plans a lovely meal for Rhiannon. As they converse, he reveals that he will no longer be Alexander as of tomorrow because he does not want to take control of his life. He informs her that they can't be together forever, so he wants Rhiannon to spend time with Alexander because he is a nice guy who is ideal for her. Rhiannon and A dance and speak as they realize this is their last night together, and spend their final few hours embracing on Alexander's bed. The next morning, A awakens as Katie, a wealthy black girl, and drives away in her fine car. Meanwhile, Rhiannon runs into Alexander at school, who compliments her on her grin. They stroll together to their appointment. The film concludes as we witness A shared a video on Instagram of himself embracing his new life in Central Park. Because of his selflessness, A decides to leave Rhiannon's life so that she might live her own happily with another. This is the essence of true love. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. To assist the channel, turn on notification and leave a like. Thank you for taking the time to watch. See you again soon.